Hey guys, well, I'm back out here once again at my nemesis, the Chevy van. Sighted the big bang yesterday. I think I mentioned in my other video that the fuel pump on this van wasn't working. It's got the electric in-tank pump like most do these days. So I went ahead and pulled that tank out today and got that done. Wasn't a big deal. Just had a few lines to unscrew and a couple of clamps and things to do, and that was it. She's out. The good news was the tank was almost empty and it wasn't rusted. It's in good shape, so that was a blessing, because those tanks aren't cheap, and I just don't have any good luck trying to get rusty tanks to work good anymore. So hooray for that. On to this though. Here's the hanger and everything for the fuel pump. Of course, I've taken the fuel pump out of it. It's over here. I'll get to that in a second. But I noticed when I was fooling with this thing, taking the lines loose and everything, that this whole thing was just kind of loosey-goosey in there. So sure enough, when I got it out, this snake-looking thing here was down here somewhere, wrapped around it, and that's what's remaining of the O-ring that goes between the lock ring and the fuel tank. You always have to have that in there because that seals off from gas leaks and fumes and things like that. And you can see where that one was. So then got this thing apart, got looking at it. First of all, see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Here's the transfer. This is the top of the pump. This is where the harness connects. And this here goes about right there. It just kind of clamps on there. That's the output to the engine of the van. Okay, well, this thing is supposed to be pretty solid rubber. Take a look at this. This is like a sponge. It's actually sticking to my fingers. Look at that. It's been in here and it's rotten gas so long it's just disintegrated. Yeah. And down here on the pump itself on the bottom, there's a whole bunch more of this stuff. So I don't know what this is. I thought the pump may have burned up and leaked something out of it, but it doesn't seem to be. It's sealed up. But it ain't working. So there's a bunch of goo on the bottom of that thing too. I don't know what happened. Man, it's always a surprise when you're working on a piece of shit like this. So anyway, I noticed yesterday, before I got traumatized with the big backfire and the fire I had, that when I turned the key on, the gas gauge wasn't working. It was all the way over to you looked at it, it was all the way past full like that. So that told me that this cinder's probably got an issue, and it does. I use the ohm meter on it, and it's something's wrong with it, because it's got a little. I'll try to get in here and see if I can kind of show you how these work. It seems like every time I try to zoom in, I push this button the wrong way. But okay, let me get my little improvised pointer here. Okay. Now, this is a sending unit. Basically, it's kind of hard to see, but that's just probably thousands of really small diameter wire that's wrapped around this assembly here. As you can see, this is where it's wrapped around all the way up, and it has let's see if I can show it here. Let me find out where I'm at here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, if you look in there, you see this part's moving. That's like a wiper. It's like a little metal wiper, and it wipes along the back of this assembly here of this wire, and it passes a voltage. It gets a supply voltage through there, and then this is the ground that comes out of it. And what it does, well, I'm telling you that wrong. Actually, this doesn't get supply voltage. The way gauges in a vehicle work, and most of them, they get one side of the gauge gets a 12-volt supply to it, and what this is actually this wire I'm zooming in, that's actually a ground wire. And this wiper, as it moves, as the gas level in the tank moves up and down, it's kind of what they call a potentiometer. In a matter of speaking, it just it varies the amount of ground signal it lets go through. In other words, it doesn't get a full ground at one end of its range. Say right there, it probably gets, just for hypothetically saying, it gets maybe let's a third of a volt go through here to complete the circuit, and then as it goes up, it lets more and more voltage pass as the ground loop is what it is. Then finally, when it's down here, it may let the full 12 volts, or most of them run on about 5 volts because this really can't handle a lot of voltage. But either way, that's how it works. So this one, simply put, this one's not working. I don't know if the wiper's burned up. It's got you see here, see I did it again, got a scorch mark on it here. I don't know what that caused that, but anyway, that's what's going on here, and I'm going to go get a fuel pump for it, probably get it today or tomorrow, and get this thing put back together and see what we got. Some of you may be wondering, of course this is the fuel pump motor itself that sits in the tank, and this is in gas all the time. And I know a lot of people probably wonder, well, why do you have an electric motor immersed in gas? Isn't it going to explode? Well, you can see this motor is pretty well sealed up. I mean, it's not like it's running and got like a drill or something. It's got sparks shooting out of it. It's really sealed up. The only thing that gets in that motor is the gas, and the gas actually cools one of these electric motors. So if you're ever in the habit of running, a fuel injected vehicle chronically low on gas, that's not good for it, because that makes this little electric motor run too hot, and that's what leads to him burning up prematurely. So this one just doesn't even try to come on, doesn't even try to work when you turn the keys. So it's either burn up electrically, or it's frozen up because of this gas situation where it had this rotten old yucky gas in it. Yeah, that causes gum and varnish and things like that, and it's like acidic, and it just ruins anything. That's what happens to this rubber stuff too. It's what just kills it. But this one's not bad. I've seen some that are, if you ever take one of these out, and you'll see it's got like a lot of white, crusty, yucky looking gunk on it. That's just acid. That's from fuel varnish and acids. So anyway, I'll probably make another video as I get this sending unit. It's got screws on it. I can take it apart. So as I get it apart, I might make another video to kind of show what was wrong with it, try to fix it. So, and this thing, everything under this looks good. I think I got one hard line there that needs to be kind of flushed out. It's got some gunk in it, but other than that, maybe the next couple of days we'll see if this thing will actually run on its own without catching on fire from me throwing ether to it. Shit. Okay. Anyway, well, I hope this was a little bit informative, guys, and get any questions or comments, please share them, and please subscribe, and thanks for watching.